Hi, this is Dorothy Smith, and I am going to make another card and highlight a couple of really nice stamps. This is called A Million Little Things, and it's got these beautiful flowers that can be watercolored, which is what I'm going to highlight today. And then this is another great sentiment card with little stitches on it, which are really cute. Some wonderful sentiments for the inside and outside of your cards, and I will be using those because they're short and sweet and pack a punch. And so I'm going to use this canary UV coated paper from Blue Skies for my background. So it's 5.5 by 4.25. And I'm also going to use another of the UV papers in the green apple. So they're, real citrusy looking. They're kind of making me hungry, to tell you the truth. So I'm going to put a strip there. And this paper happens to be watercolor paper. I decided to get my very specific watercolor paper because it doesn't, if you get it too wet, it doesn't ball up like regular cardstock. So that sounds weird. It just kind of it can take the coating off of the paper. And so I decided to go with the watercolor paper. And I am going to ink and stamp this daisy kind of flower. So that doesn't look too bad. I'm using my intense black ink because that's the ink that I can watercolor with. The other thing I could do would be to emboss it with black embossing and then color inside the little raised lines, which I need to do that. I haven't done that in a long time. And it really makes the flower edges pop. So I'm having just a little bit of difficulty getting a good impression without having the goop on the sides of the block. And I'm going over the sides here. So you don't have to have it fit on your piece of paper. You can bleed off the edges. So that's totally fine thing to do. So I was going to do it again, but I've already dragged the bottom side across my ink. So I will go with it. I was going to move it down a tad, but that doesn't really matter. So the other elements, this is a Atlantic Heart Sketch Challenge, and the other elements are this little piece, and that's from a mix-in package from a couple of months ago. And it's got the, what color? Nectarine. So, like I said, it's hungry with all this fruit, the green apple and the nectarine. So I am going the easy route for coloring, and I haven't used my pencils in a little while. And I love how I don't even have to be neat with the pencils. So I'm just kind of slobbering color around. I'm kind of making the veins a little bit darker and the stems a little bit darker. And just kind of scribbling the light on the edges. So then what I'll do is take my little blending tool and smear the colors, and they will, any of the stroke lines or whatever will completely disappear. And I'm making these kind of yellow daisies with an orange center. And I'll put the yellow on the outside of the petals, and then I'll kind of pull the orange color into the yellow. And so all this will blend together. And I have a little bit more ease with the colors blending with the pencils than I do with the other watercolor tools that I could use. I do have to pull out my real watercolors and use them. I haven't touched those in ages. So there's my little petals and center. So I'm kind of matching the colors to what's on the background. And just clearing off the tip. It looks like it's colored. It gets stained just like the stamps do. But if you kind of, run it over the paper a little bit, then you can pull the color off of it. So here I am just kind of pulling a little bit of orange into the yellow to kind of give them a really kind of a golden hue more than a yellow color. And the watercolor pencils just flow so easily with the blending pen that I need to get rid of the orange and yellow. Although yellow and green wouldn't be bad. So I'm just smoothing out my greens, my stems and my leaves. And it just changes it completely with no effort whatsoever. It just it always blows me away that the blending pen just turns scribble into, something beautiful. So I'm going to use my little, I made that little scalloped punch with my scallop punch. I have a 2-inch scallop punch. And I have a drawer where I just kind of throw all of my extra Cricut cuts and extra punch cuts and die cuts. And if I don't use them, or if I'm doing nothing else and I just punch out a whole bunch of circles or a whole bunch of hearts or a whole bunch of scallops, then I can kind of go shuffling through my stash and pull out something without having to, pull out another punch or pull out my die cut machine. So I really like doing that, and that's my little scalloped white glitter piece was in there. So I decided that I would use it to kind of highlight this little circle that says life is better with friends. I think that came off of the Sentiments stamp set. That is just a really, really nice stamp set for making cards. I mean, it's just all sorts of stuff. And I was going to put one of the little stitches on there because they're really cute, but I just didn't have a big enough place to put it. So I was being silly. I wanted to have a little bit on there, but it was such a little piece, it got kind of blobby looking. It didn't really help anything at all. So every piece of cardstock has 2 sides. Just remember that, because a good portion of my stuff is printed on both sides. So don't go wasting a piece, just flip it over if you can. So there we go. Life is better with friends. And I'm using my microcloth that is, I keep it in a craft box and keep it damp so I can have it there to clean off my stamps and be a little bit better about taking care of my stamps. So these blobs were on, these are splatters from the Million Things stamp set with all the pretty flowers. And so there's some, it's always nice to have a few blobs here and there. So instead of doing any kind of splatter painting, all you have to do is use one of the many different kinds of blobs that we have. We have speckles, we've got swashes, we've got big speckles, little speckles. We've got all sorts of blobs. It's wonderful. So I am going to see what this looks like. I was just kind of seeing, I wanted to add a little bit of color because it looked kind of boring. And so I'm just adding some of the green color over the words. And then I'll come back with my blending tool and hope that there's nothing messes it up. And so I'm just very lightly blending it, and somehow it makes the color a little bit more intense and then spreads it out. And so we've just got a soft color on there instead of it just being kind of plain white. And then I'm going to pop it up with just a little bit of foam tape. Little piece at the top, little piece at the bottom. Squish them on there real good. And boy, I tell you what, I have lost every bit of my nails I've got corona nails. And oh my gosh, I have no nails left. And I've been washing so much. They're so soft that they just rip. It's horrible. Anyway, I've been cooking so much since my husband's home also. So there's a lot of cooking and cleaning going on in this house. Oy. Okay, so there's my Life is Better with Friends. And I am going to send this to a friend of mine who gave me a belated birthday gift. And I had to crack up when I saw it because, first of all, she gave me a rack of ribs that were on sale at our grocery store for super cheap. I mean, it was just crazy how inexpensive they were. And so I'm just unsticking my liquid glue here. I try to burp the bottle. I try to remember to burp the bottle so it doesn't get clogged up. And I'm adding a little bow and some sequins. But anyway, she got them when they were super cheap and gave me a rack of them. So I've got to cook some ribs, which I love. And then the other bag that wasn't enough. The other bag had a tube, that pop-up tube of Lysol wipes, a can of Lysol, 2 bottles of hand cream because, oh my God, are your hands just totally dry now? And, hand sanitizer. I mean, it was perfect. It was a perfect COVID birthday present. So, I mean, how can you not love a friend that does that for you? Anyway, crack me up. So this is going to be for my friend Deborah. And I'm just going to add my signature on the back here, and I'm just going to add a little, not the whole flower, but just a portion of the larger flower. And if I had any of the colored inks there, I would probably use that, but I'm just going to put it in black. And then, of course, I've got to put it on my envelope. And so I'm going to do the same thing. And just have it come off the edges. There we go. I love those flowers. I just absolutely love the sketchiness of them, if that's a word. But I love that they're not completely precise. I just love how sketchy they are. And so anyway, there we go. And I think I'm going to there's a really another nice phrase on the, for the inside. Meantime, my bow falls off because it's not dry yet. Because it's liquid glass, so it takes a while for it to dry. So just try to get the extra ink off of it so I don't smudge it. Life is sweeter when shared with a friend like you. And she retired in January, and this whole COVID thing has totally messed up us going out to lunch together. So it's very disappointing. But we're just waiting for the time when we can go out and have tacos together. So there's my little card. Oh, and I'm going to color it. I forgot that I did that. So I hope you like this video. Let me know if you do. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would love for you to subscribe. And I also have a Facebook group called Dot Scrapbooking Facebook group. And I hope you subscribe to that too, or join the group and let me know. But please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will make more things for you. And if you have something you want to see made, let me know. And I will do my best to come up with whatever you're looking for, whether it's a scrapbook page or a home decor or whatever. I will see what I can do. So there we go. Putting my flowers. There's my, comes in rose and rosebud, and there are always flowers for those who want to see them. That's Henri Matisse. Anyway, that's a great stamp. Both of those stamps are really wonderful stamps. And these have really good sentiments for the inside. People like you make the world pretty great. And so thanks for those of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel. I think you're pretty great. So thank you very much. So this is Dot Scrapbooking, and I'm going to clean up my mess here to take a final tally. Those are the colors I used. So there we go. Bye.